Hello, everyone. Jessica Beck here with IELTS Energy. Today, I interview Sofia. She is from Russia. She now lives in Canada, and she had to take the IELTS exam recently. Guys, she got an overall 8. She managed to prepare for this success while being a mother to a small child and a new immigrant to Canada. Guys, listen up for her valuable advice on how to maximize your preparation for the highest scores. And she's a lovely person and you want to meet her. Guys, remember, you can also access the same system that got her an overall 8, 3 Keys IELTS. Check it out, guys. allearsenglish.com/KEYS. All right, let's get to Sofia's interview. Hello, IELTS Energy listeners. Welcome to the show today. I am so excited to bring a real student to you, a successful student, a busy adult who got an 8 on IELTS. Sofia is going to share some tips with you guys today. Sofia, welcome to the show.
Hello, Jessica. Thank you for having me.
I'm laughing, you guys, because we had to start the recording over again because my dog's interrupted. But that's life, right? We have to be prepared for anything, just like IELTS. Sofia, tell us a little bit about yourself. Why did you take IELTS?
So for the first time, I took it in 2018 to get my papers to immigrate from Russia. I used to live in St. Petersburg. And now that I'm in Canada, Calgary, I needed to take it once again, the academic version. I hope it's okay, the sound of the planes. The planes are really low in this neighborhood.
That's okay.
I cannot do anything about that, unfortunately.
I can put my dogs away, but you can't do anything about the planes. It's
No,
totally
stop
fine.
you planes. Sometimes I do want to say that when my kid is asleep.
Oh, goodness. And that brings up another important characteristic, guys. Sofia's a mom. I mean, you had to prepare for this exam in your free time. I mean, you don't have free time. How did you manage to do all of this and still, lead your busy life?
Yeah, it was tough, especially for a new immigrant with a child. For the first time, I was preparing myself and I used a lot of your free materials, but I had like half of a year to prepare and to do everything. And my child was an infant back then, so like you can do some things while nursing, but
Sure,
now she's an active toddler. So what really saved me were your study plans. And first I was hoping for a 2-month-long one, but it appeared that I will need my papers earlier. So I switched to a 1-month-long. It was very helpful, I have to say. I'm not sure, because I was just opening it on my computer and checking, okay, what am I going to do today? And sometimes I was not really able to study for 1 or 2 days. And then on the third one, I was trying to do all the check here and there, and then yeah.
I mean, there is so much you have to do before the IELTS exam. I mean, all the 4 sections have like different question types, and not just all the testing skills and knowing what the examiner is looking for and all of that, but you still have to maintain a certain level of English and add to that level of English, right? If you're going to like have all that impressive vocab and everything.
And here with the COVID, I am physically in Canada, but the COVID restrictions only started to be lifted lately, and I don't work. I'm basically searching more or less and trying to find, because I'm a psychologist, I need to get certified in order to work in that position. So I didn't have everyday communication like at all, apart from maybe at the grocery store every week, but that's not adding to your vocab, right?
Right. Yeah, we come across that a lot where students they might even be using English at work, but it's not IELTS English,
No.
or you're like speaking to somebody at a coffee shop. That's not exam practice. So you really have to be intentional about what kind of practice you're getting, right? Because it's not all going to help. If it's too easy, it's not going to help. So let's get into your scores. So overall 8, amazing. Now, what were the individual scores?
So the listening and the reading, I had it 8.5 in 2018, but this time I had a 9 and in both sections, and it was only
Awesome.
because of your course, because you were explaining some things that I had no idea about earlier.
Like what, Sophia? Like what do you think was just like this
Yeah,
eye-opening idea?
I'm not sure about the listening, but with the reading, with yes, no, not given questions,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it's like really not clear. And you've in your lectures you've explained how to which keywords to look for and how to discern like whether it's a yes or not given, etc. So
Yeah.
that one was really, because I was always like in my practice I was always making mistakes and that kind of questions, and then you give some tips about if you should look through the whole piece, or is it an or are those questions in order. That all
Yeah.
I didn't need help with time with reading. I read a lot and it was fast, but I was really complicated to find the right answer sometimes, because in different parts of the text there are sometimes like the same the theme, but the information is a little bit different, and I didn't know
Yeah.
which one to consider. And like, yeah, I wouldn't get a 9 for sure without those. And in the listening part, also, you had you've explained some tips, like, yeah, I cannot remember which ones, but for sure I remember sitting there in front of the computer and memorizing that and using that. I just don't
That's
remember it
awesome.
right now.
That's fantastic. Well, one listening tip that I find really helps people that sometimes surprises students is just this simple piece of advice to listen to the introduction before you look at the questions, because a lot of students just want to save time. They're panicked, they're nervous, they don't listen to that introduction, they just go right to the questions, and that is such a mistake. That is such a missed opportunity to just warm up your brain and understand what the conversation is about.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's so cool. So 9s, listening and reading. I am so impressed. And then speaking and writing, how did you do there?
Yeah, I had a 7.5 in speaking, and I really messed it up, to be honest.
Really? What
Like,
happened?
yeah, because like previous time I had an 8, and I also used like a lot of idioms that you offered in your IELTS Energy TV. I was like, I had a notebook and I was writing them down and memorizing it. And I remember the eyes of the examiner becoming really wide when I was using one of those.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
and like, I don't think there were a lot of people with 8s and speaking like with who were taking this exam that day. So I was like very proud of myself. And I really remember that I was sticking to all of your ideas from this YouTube channel. I was watching
Awesome.
a lot. But this time like last week before my exam, my kid had big troubles with her sleep. She's in that age that she's having nightmares sometimes. And
Oh, poor
so for a
thing.
week, yeah, now she's bounced back, but this like 2 weeks, which was 1 week before my exam, was like almost 1 week of interrupted sleep for me, and I was sleep deprived. But I also won this writing contest with you, and I had this 15 minutes Skype session with you,
Mm-hmm.
and I had several mistakes which were easily avoided I could really like easily do at least two of those things. And when I walked out of that room, I thought, oh my God, I did all the same mistakes, even more.
Oh no.
Because I was so sleep deprived. It was like
Yeah.
10 in the morning. I had my listening before my speaking before the rest of the test.
Oh,
I
that's
bounced
hard.
back. Yeah,
I feel like it's almost easier when it's done, like usually people have their speaking tests in the afternoon, and it sounds tough because you have the whole morning and then you're going to be tired going to the speaking exam. But I think it actually is good to have speaking be the last part because you've been doing English all day, so you're like
true.
ready, to
Yeah,
like
but in that
perform.
case, I had to pick her up from the daycare, and that was my only option to do it before.
Oh my gosh, but you still got a 7.5.
Yeah,
So
that was more than enough for me.
that's still like that shows how important it is to have strong fundamentals. Like you have to have really strong, solid preparation because of the what ifs, right? Because what if you can't sleep? What if you feel sick? What if, something happens? You have to have this strong preparation to fall back on, or else you'll be completely lost. So, okay,
Yeah.
congratulations on that 7.5. That's
Thank you.
amazing. And then writing. Tell us about your writing score. Was that a struggle for you to prepare? Were you surprised by your score? Tell us about that.
Yeah, for the first time, because I didn't have, I didn't buy the course. We were really tight on our budgets, and also I had this time and a little baby who interrupted less than now. But still, I had to invite babysitters to exercise my writing skills for sure.
Yeah.
All others, they were like, because you need to concentrate for at least half an hour in a row in order to write an essay, and that's not the case with a little child for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, and in the night, it's also, for me, it's not an option to study during the night. Some moms can do that. I cannot, for like my brain switches off at about 11 in the evening or 10.
Yeah, no, me too. Totally. So what did you get on your writing? What was your writing
I got
score?
a 7. I got a 7.
Amazing.
And for the first time, I was sure that I won't get it. I was like, I wasn't able to finish it. I made a conclusion, and I made like my first points, but it was not a whole thing. This time, also, I didn't really prepare that much for the writing.
Oh.
And I really think I relied a lot on the on what you've offered. And also there was this part with graphs, which I didn't experience in general IELTS.
Yeah.
And that was new, and it was very clear I didn't do anything apart from the exercises that you've offered, and that was sufficient, even though the questions, they were like, they mixed change over time and a
static,
and the static, and it was like, for a moment I couldn't really understand what shall I do now, because it was totally something else.
Yeah.
But
you have those strategies to fall back on, right? So you knew, okay, I don't have to think about this very much. I just have to draw the line, organize. So one paragraph is one picture, another paragraph is another picture, and just go for it. Yeah. It might even be better to not over prepare for something that is this tricky. Like, just rely on what we tell you in the course. You don't need anything else. Keep it simple, especially for academic task 1, because if you try and overthink it, if you try and find connections and patterns in the numbers, guys, that wastes a lot of time, first of all. And then second of all, your essay is going to be very confusing. if you try to do that. It really just, it has to be very simple in academic task one.
Yeah, but still, I think more practice makes better.
Sure.
I don't have I did it enough.
But you still got a 7.
Yes.
So that's amazing. All right, Sophia, do you have any words of advice for students out there that maybe are as busy as you are? They're adults, they have families, everybody has a lot going on right now. Just there's a lot going on in the world right now, but that doesn't stop our need to finish IELTS and move on with our lives, right? The world is still going to be waiting for us. So, Sophia, do you have any advice out there for people who are preparing and maybe a little bit stressed out thinking about their IELTS exam?
Well, as a psychologist,
yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, very good to ask you then. Yes.
I think putting less pressure at yourself would help. That helped me for sure, because some A grader inside me told me, no, you have to reschedule. You have to postpone your exam. You didn't study for 2 weeks, nor it's not you didn't fully accomplish the study plan. You have to come back to it. But it's okay. We'll try. If it won't work, we will try again. And it's not the end of the world. And what really helped me was my curiosity during the exam. I was curious about the woman during the speaking exam, and she was very nice, by the way.
Cool.
Unlikely my first examiner.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. You never know what kind of examiner you're going to get on test day. Okay, that's awesome. No, I love that, guys. Definitely be kind to yourselves. And if you are able to check out the 3 keys system, guys, we organize all of your time for you, so you do not feel lost. It is comforting to know exactly what you have to do every day. And we have made test prep as fun and motivating as possible, guys, because it can get tough and boring, but you have to stay involved in your studies if you're going to learn, right? You have to stay engaged with that material. So guys, check it out. It is for computer, for paper-based, for general, for academic. We have it all, allearsenglish.com/KEYS. All right, awesome. Thank you, Sophia, for sharing your story with us. And congratulations, you don't have to think about IELTS anymore.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for being me during this tough journey.
My pleasure. I want to help everyone with IELTS. All right, awesome. Have a good day, Sophia.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.